Well, Russia has continued its drone and missile assaults in Ukraine. Regional authorities have reported that Russian strikes have killed 3 and injured another 54 over the past day. Ukrainian railways have also reported that Moscow has targeted Ukraine's rail infrastructure, resulting in trains running on alternative routes. Meanwhile, media reports have said that the Trump administration has approved its first U.S. weapons and package to Ukraine paid for by allies. The packages are expected to be shipped as soon as Washington resumes sending arms to Ukraine. This is the first use of a mechanism developed by the United States and allies to supply Ukraine with weapons from U.S. stocks using funds from NATO countries. In fact, Undersecretary of Defense for Policy has approved as many as $500 million worth of shipments under this mechanism called the Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List. So far, the Trump administration has only sold weapons to Ukraine or shipped donations which were authorized by former President Joe Biden. This system aims to bolster Kyiv with as many as $10 billion worth of weapons. Joining us at this point in time is Major General G.G. Dwivedi, Global Strategic Defense Expert, joining us from New Delhi, India. So thank you so much for your time on NewsX World. And I'd like to understand from you, yes, wars are inherently complex, but what the world, including Trump, is trying to achieve is a ceasefire. Yes, protecting lives, institutions, infrastructure is non-negotiable, but then where does this aid package fall as far as the Russia and Ukraine war is concerned? Does it essentially have an impact? Does it protract the war? Or does it help in achieving that larger goal that is to get a ceasefire in place?
Oh, well, wars are fought with certain aims and objectives. And this war obviously is in state of stalemate. But President Putin feels that he is winning the war, so therefore he is not obliged to call it off anytime soon. And this was obvious during there was a summit between President Trump and Putin in Alaska, and where the Putin stance was that there's no need for ceasefire, there should be a peace agreement, and therefore what we can now make out is that war is going to continue and not going to end anytime soon. Now, for the war to continue, you require weapons and equipment. And therefore, now new mechanisms that have been worked out by the Trump administration is, as you rightly spelled out, prioritize Ukraine's requirement list. Under this mechanism, arms from the US stockpile are sent as aid to Ukraine, but utilizing the funds from NATO. So this mechanism actually ensures that Ukraine continues to get its shipment of weapons and equipment, without which, of course, it cannot fight on. And the latest shipment is, as you rightly said, the 2 shipments of $500 billion each. And that's not the end, because according to the new Transatlantic Cooperation Agreement, arms worth almost $10 billion will be given to Ukraine to fight on, because, as I earlier said, that President Putin is in no mood to end the war anytime soon. And also, President Trump has changed his stance. Initially, he said that he would not be giving any arms to Ukraine, but he is frustrated with the stand that Moscow has taken, and Moscow continues to target the Ukraine infrastructure and also the civilian locations. So, as I can make out, that this arms supply now will continue, and Ukraine will have to fight on until President Putin decides to call it off a day, which is not going to happen anytime soon. And these arms, especially the air defense system, interceptors, and artillery and rockets, are very essential for Ukraine to fight another day. Over to you.
Right, absolutely, sir. I request you to stay on with us. So we have some more news coming our way. The IAEA team at Ukraine's nuclear Zaporizhzhia power plant reported hearing shelling close to the site and saw black smoke rising from 3 locations nearby. The plant informed them that multiple artillery shells struck an area about 400 meters from its off-site diesel fuel storage facility, sparking fires that were later brought under control. The team heard sporadic shelling and gunfire for about 2 hours, including rounds falling close to the site, but has not yet been able to visit the struck area. There were no reports of casualties or damages. Now, Director General Rafael Grossi warned that the incident once again underscores the grave risk to nuclear safety and urged maximum military restraint. Still with us on the broadcast is Major General Gigi Dwivedi. Sir, I'd like to understand from you, given the location where this attack has taken place, how do you exactly see it?
Well, first and foremost, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is the biggest power plant in Europe. It has 6 reactors, and within the first few days of the war, which started in February 2022, this plant was taken over by the Russians, and therefore that's how the background is all about. Now, coming to the safety of the nuclear installation or nuclear power plant, I think Director General Rafael Grossi is absolutely right, because any firing or any hostile action next to the nuclear power plant can actually mean a disaster, and we have the cases in the past as well. So therefore, I think both the sides must keep off this very sensitive nuclear installation, because any instance can be absolutely catastrophic. And to that extent, I think both the sides must maintain a certain degree of restraint. And while the 6 reactors are shut down, but there is fuel, and the fuel requires constant cooling. And hence, the power plant to some extent is still active because the fuel is being cooled up, and while the reactors are shut. So all I can say is that the Director General's concern is very, very apt, and also this installation, which is very sensitive, should not be targeted by other side, because it can lead to huge